Hello everyone, so let's start our week 2 SMOPS and RIPMWC booklet A run through. So in week 2 we still talk about the calculation. So now let's look at this question. You see, we always test the complex fraction problem in the computation. So this one, I see this one is a very easy one. You observe the denominator and numerator, you see plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1. So you can see the difference between denominator and the numerator is just 2. So we know all the denominator and the numerator, the difference is 2. So we can rewrite this sequence like 2 squared minus 1, and the numerator become 2 squared minus 1 plus 2. So, and the second one should be 4 squared minus 1 plus 2 over 4 squared minus 1, and blah, 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 blah to the last one, 20 squared minus 1 plus 2, and over 20 squared minus 1. So you see, this 2 squared minus 1, 2 squared minus 1, 4 squared minus 1, 4 squared minus 1, 18 squared minus 1, 18 squared minus 1, and 20 squared minus 1, 20 squared minus 1. It's same. So we can rewrite this sequence like 1 plus 2 over 2 squared minus 1 plus 1 plus 2 over 4 squared minus 1 plus blah 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 plus 2, 1 plus 2 over 20 squared minus 1. Then we can maybe write this sequence in another order. We put 1 together and all the fraction on the left, on the right. So we can write it like that. Okay, now you see the next step is to find out how many 1 do we have and how to simplify the later fraction sum. So you see 2 squared minus 1, 4 squared minus 1, 18 squared minus 1, 20 squared minus 1. Okay, 1 is just the 1 square. 1 equals to 1 square, 1 square, and 1 square. Then you find out this one is just the difference of the square. So do you still remember the formula? Yeah, difference of square is just a square minus b square equals to a plus b times a minus b. So we can rewrite it, all the denominator part, in this form. Okay, so we can write it like 1 plus 1 plus blah 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 plus 2, 2 over 1 times 3 plus 2 over 3 times 5 plus blah 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 plus 2, 2 over 17 times 19, and plus 2 over 19 times 21. Okay, the next step is to observe how many 1 do we have. So remember 1 plus 1 fraction as a group. So let's see, this one is the first group. So this one is just 1 plus 1 divided by 2 equals to 1. So this one is the second group. So 3 plus 1 over 2 equals to 2. So which means, what's that group? Okay, so of course this one is just 17 plus 1 over 2 equals to 9. And this one is 19 plus 1 over 2 equals to 10. You see, 1, 3, 5, 17, 9, blah, 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 17, 19, 21. This one is a kind of arithmetic sequence. So we can find out how many 1 do we have. So actually we have 10 1 in total. So we can write it like that. 10 plus 2 over 1 times 3 plus 2 over 3 times 5 plus blah 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 plus 2, 2 over 17 times 19 plus 2 over 19 times 21. So I think, I can delete this one. Okay, so after that, you can observe the numerator and the denominator again. You find out the product is 1 times 3, 3 times 5. And you find out the difference of the denominator. The difference of two numbers on the denominator is just equals to the numerator, right? So we like it very much because we can also use the difference, the method of difference to separate this kind of fraction. And after that, we can rewrite it like 10 plus, use a bracket, 1 minus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3 minus 1 over 5 plus blah 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 plus 2, 1 over 17 minus 1 over 19 plus 1 over 19 minus 1 over 21. So you see, minus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3 should be cancelled, and minus 1 over 5, and later we will have a plus 1 over 5 cancel, and all the things cancel. So the remaining part is just the 1 minus 1 over 21. So the calculation is very easy. The last answer is 10 and 20 over 21. So in this question, also you can use the general method. You see, this one we can also like maybe use n to represent n squared plus 1 over n squared minus 1, and give them minus 1 plus 2 and n squared minus 1 also equals to 1 plus 2 over n squared minus 1. And n squared minus 1, we can also use the difference of square. So we can rewrite it like the most simplified Wait, n plus 1 times n minus 1. Okay, after you find out all things, you can just separate all the fraction by 1 and another fraction, and then calculate how many 1 do we have. After that, use the method of difference to separate all the fraction and cancel. The remaining part is very easy for you to calculate.